Okay, welcome to how to play and beat the Rich Dad cash flow game. I'm going to show you how to beat conceptually the game. First, let's look at a couple slides. What is the goal of the game? The goal of the game is to move from the rat race into the fast track, which represents financial freedom. And the way we do that is in two stages. Part one is grow your money by building assets or buying assets. That can be start a business, buy real estate, or buy stocks. There are some smaller things you can do, like buy gold or start a widget part-time business as well. But primarily, most of the deals will be buy cheap real estate, let it grow in value, or buy cheap stocks and let that grow in value. So that we call capital gains. We don't get cash flow from this, but we grow our money. Our money pile gets bigger, and then later, in part two, we're going to build cash flow. In part two, you're going to take your larger cash pile and look for bigger deals that give you cash flow so you can build your passive income. So capital gains, we grow our money, we're buying and selling. In part two, we're building cash flow and getting rents or dividends or some kind of profit generation from a productive asset. These are businesses that make profit. We use that profit and make like a paycheck for ourselves. So let's jump into the game and show you how to do this. Okay, now to beat the game when you're really good at it, you should be able to do it in under 10 minutes. I don't know how fast I will beat this one, but let's jump in. Let's do SL. Alright, so my audio should be working. Here I have whatever, it doesn't matter what job you get, it just tells you you're a police officer. In this case, this is the card I got. And here's my income, here's my savings. Let's play. So we're going to start off with roll. Whenever I have extra money, you'll see I'll want to repay my debt. If I ever need extra money, I can borrow some money, which is at a high interest rate. So keep that in mind. When I'm trying to play fast, I skip all of these charity cards, but it does, if you do donate, it costs you money and you get to roll more times, but it's optional. So let's go back, do it again, roll. We're gonna keep rolling. So now I have, it shows, here's my cash. This is what I have to spend. I always want to keep some money because if I get downsized, which means I don't get as much work or paychecks, I'm gonna need that cash. I want to pay off my liabilities. Liabilities is the money I owe. So credit cards, car loans, retail debt. I want to pay this off whenever I have extra cash. I don't have too much extra cash. My assets go on the left. Here's my lifestyle, my income minus expenses. So here's what I make, here's what I spend, and any extra money goes to my assets or to pay down my liabilities, what I borrow. To win the game, I want my passive income, my income that I collect without having to do anything from businesses. I want that to pay for all my expenses. So that's how we get out of the rat race. We have to convert cash into cash flow. So you'll see. We'll go again. We'll go into small deals. Here's an example of a stock. It's already 50 bucks. It goes from 5 to 40. I don't want this deal because it's already expensive, so I'm going to pass. Now, because I want to save money, I'm going to pay down this retail debt. Retail payment is 50 bucks on the expenses, so as you can see, if I pay that down, I'm going to use cash, but then I'll save $50 every turn, and I'll keep playing. Small deals, please. Here's another stock. $5 to $30 is the trading range. I don't want it because it's already at the top of the trading range. This stock is already expensive, so I just pass. If it's $5 or $1, I really want it, but it's not. That's a real estate card, doesn't apply. We'll keep going. Here's an expense. I don't have a choice. I have to pay for it. I also have $2,000, so I can pay off some credit cards, but I'm not going to do it yet because I haven't made any extra money, and I'm going to want to use that money. So here's a good example. $5 stock. It goes from 10 to 30. I want this. I'm going to buy. I have $2,000, let's say. So I'm going to buy maybe 40. Oops, way wrong. 400. So that's going to use up most of my cash, but that's a good deal. And then apartment house buyer. I don't have any apartments at the moment. Let's keep looking at the small deals. Here's a $30 stock. I don't want it. Most of the stocks in the game are a good deal if they're cheap. So there's no companies that really go bankrupt. Here's a really good deal. Now I'm going to show how to borrow some money. So let's say I want to buy $4,000 worth. Now this is risky, it's kind of advanced, but I could buy, and they said, hey, you don't have $4,000, you only have $2,000. Do you want to borrow $2,000? It'll cost you $200, and I can afford that, so I'm going to say yes. And now I'm going to buy $4,000 worth of stock at $1. I have to do this because these are the best deals in the game. So now we roll. Oh no, I'm downsized. I am unlucky. I'm downsized, so I have to borrow some more money, you'll see. And now I could pay for the gap in income. So I'm looking for small deals. Here's another $5 stock, but I know I can't do that because I owe so much money. I'm going to pass. I could sell some, but my 4-2U. So I bought some at $1. I went to 5. I wanted to go to 30, so I'm just going to pass on this. And I'm going to repay some of my loan debt. Okay. I'm going to go to small deal again. We don't have any cash. It's $10. It's not bad, but now I have to be conservative because I'm still trying to grow my money. Here's a house for sale. This is an okay deal. It doesn't require a down payment, but I will lose $100 every turn, every paycheck. I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm gonna pay down my loan with my 1,000. So I am taking some risky decisions. Furniture sale, I have to pay for that. No choice. Here's another house for $65,000, which is kind of expensive, and I have to put up money, so I pass on that. Small deal, mutual fund, $10, and it goes from 10 to 30. I'm going to pass, and I'm going to pay down some debt. Here's another 1,000. I'm slowly paying that down. Preferred stock, not a great deal, so I pass. Here's another house. $50,000 like the one we bought before, but I have to put up $3,000. But it is $100 positive, so I'm going to pass on that and finally pay off this loan. Let's see another deal here. I'm going to pass on that. So now I'm in a good position to have a house. Hopefully I can sell that later. I have some stock and I'm waiting for a higher price. I'm trying to do what the slides are saying. Remember, part 1, I'm still in the grow money stage. So we pay that. Downsized again, oh no. So I'm going to have to borrow a little bit of money again. And we keep playing. Some split, doesn't matter. Alright, so now my 400 shares of On2U went to $20. I wouldn't mind selling that, getting some money. Let me sell just half, okay? Because then maybe they go to 40. So I'm going to sell half of them. And what do I owe? I owe 1,000 there. And I'm going to pay off those credit cards. So anytime you make money, if you have any debt, you want to pay it down. It just makes it easier. Small deal. Here's a condo. I don't really like the condos, so I'm just going to pass. I just stick to what I like. CDs, or certificate of deposit. Those don't make us a lot of money, so we pass. Here's a condo. Again, I don't like those. I'm going to pass. And I'm downsized again, but now I have some cash, so it doesn't hurt as bad. So we just pay for it. It just means I don't work as much. I don't get as much every turn. Small deal. Here's another $1 deal. You have to buy these if you can afford it. And I have $4,000 and I have some buying power. So I'm going to buy, let's say 8,000, because I know this will make me a rich police officer. So yes. Now, you might be wondering, can you go bankrupt in the game? Yes, you can. You can lose the game if you don't manage your money. And it's happened to me. So very. Here's another example of a good deal. I'm gonna do it, even though it's a risky deal. I had to borrow money for that. I'll skip the condo. If you're gonna borrow money, you have to make sure you can afford the payments. All right, some more stock on $10. I'm gonna sell a little bit just because I want the cash, and I'm gonna repay some of my loan. Small deal. Gonna pass. Pay down my certificate. I'll pass on. I really want. I'll make the most money if the stocks go up in price. So that's what I want. That was a split. I don't have any control, so nothing to think about there. This is what I want. So I have 1,750 of my 4to my T for you that I got for $1. It's now at $40. This is the best possible scenario. I sell it all, and I make 70,000 bucks. That's great. I go back and I just repay any debt I might have left over, and we keep playing. I think I have enough to start looking at the big deals. I get downsized, but I can afford it. But because I have so much cash, I'm going to start looking at the positive cash flow deals, which is a big one. I start clicking on the bigs. Here's a duplex. This is an okay deal, but I'm going to pass on that one. I have a little rule that I use for the big deals. I multiply the cash flow times 10, and if it's close to the down payment, I do it. This is a good deal because 2,500 times 10 is close to 30,000. That's a huge return. So I'm going to buy that. Boom. And that's how you win the game. I happen to have enough, and I got a really good deal. And now I have more passive income that'll cover my expenses. So the bar filled up, and it says, congratulations, you're out of the rat race. This is the main point of the game. I still have more assets that could have gone up in value, but I didn't need them. I just found, I did a couple of deals. My stock went up, and then I found a good cash flow. I don't even know what it was, a laundry? I think it was a laundromat. So now I'm out of the rat race. I'm in the fast track. And at this point, to be honest, I just stopped playing because the hardest part of the game is getting out of the rat race. As you can see, it's just easy here. We're on the fast track. You're already rich. This is the whole point of the game. So let me recap. In the beginning, in order to beat the game, you want to get out of the rat race and go into get financial freedom, which is called the fast track. Eventually, you win by getting out of the rat race and just continuing to play. But the rat race is the most important. Part one is grow your money, which is we did it by buying stocks. by buying and selling, and then paying down the debt so that we don't run out of money. Eventually, you look for positive cash flow, which were the big deals that got us out of the rat race and into the fast track. And that is how you beat the game. If you have any questions, put them in the comments.